Now, let's talk about situations where there's a man and a woman. The woman gets pregnant, and the man decides he's not going to take care of his responsibility. At that point, you are a whole adult. You are making that choice.
Wait a minute.
Wait, that's a whole other conversation. That's a tougher conversation than
That's a bit.
But that's creating the next generation. So
when
you insert said child,
do we mutually come to the decision to have the kid together? Or did you come to that decision on your own?
Okay, let's say they mutually came to the decision.
Huh?
Well, then if we both decide to do it and I don't participate, then
initially.
Huh?
Let's say initially, because it's all good and dandy when y'all are having sex.
That's not a decision to have a kid. Having sex is a decision to have an orgasm. It's not a decision to have a kid.
But there's a possibility, especially when it's unprotected.
No.
Yes.
I don't ever go into anything thinking about I don't want to pay the worst possible penalty for any action that.
But it's a possibility, right?
Shit, it's a possibility. I get hit when I talk.
Okay then.
That's not my intention though.
So
it doesn't matter what your intention is, but you know the potential outcome of it.
So, are you saying that I like the little pivot, so we can go there, right? So every time people have sex, because there's a possibility that a kid should come, right? But we both know we're not having sex for that reason,
right?
And then you get pregnant. Now I gotta be obligated to you and this kid for the rest of my life because we had a mutual agreement and it went a little sideways. Women have 32 different contraceptives.
Also, it's the women's job to protect themselves.
I like that answer.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a question.
So,
question. Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was a statement.
Come on now.
The question
you can't want to be alpha only in certain areas. If you're going to be an alpha in all areas.
I gotta take the lead and putting the pill down your mouth.
Or take the lead and put on a condom. Me personally, I'm not laying down with nobody that I can't see myself having children with or raising children with.
We all had sex with no intentions. I don't believe that you never had sex without an intention to be with that person.
But I'm thinking like, okay, can I raise this child with this person? Are they going to take care of my child?
Yeah, now
you're having sex.
Before I have sex.
Oh, heck.
I'm not giving myself up to somebody I can't see myself. Stuff happens.
Nah, man.
I'm a single mom now. I'm not doing that again. That's crazy.
Oh no, I feel you, but we just talking about the encompassing all life.
It's more like for me, it's why are people surprised when they get pregnant when y'all wasn't doing nothing to protect yourselves? That's the part for me. There's that piece to it.
Yeah.
When you decide, you know what, we're not going to be on birth control. We're not going to use these condoms. There's a risk. So don't be surprised if something should happen. And then in that situation, the woman is then made with the decision. It's ultimately up to her. Okay, I'm going to continue forward with this pregnancy. And the man has the option to go ahead and leave. Now, if he's an alpha male, he will step up to the plate and do what he needs to do. But if not,
I disagree with that.
Well, let me clarify one point. Q, I want to come to you, and then Sean, you could jump in. So, you say what now? You say ultimately it's her decision, right? So I have no say so. I've been alpha all my goddamn life, and I have no say so. And now I have an option to play or not play when the kid comes.
So there's a cause and an effect. There's a cause and an effect, right? You chose to have sex. Let's say you didn't know she was on birth control, right? You didn't know. But as a man, you have the option, you have the choice to protect yourself, right? You made that choice. So when you chose to get in there with no protection, you are running the risk of trusting, okay, is she on the birth control or not? You run that risk. So then don't be surprised if she's pregnant. Don't be surprised.
I think so.
But in the moment, you're not thinking about it like that.
Yeah, because we're not doing it to have a kid.
Right.
I don't think there's surprise. I know Q's up. I don't think there's any surprise. But
if you had told me before the act that this was gonna produce a kid, I wouldn't do it. 100 times out of 100. So I can tell you my intention.
I want to hear what you have to say.
If you told me before, after this, there's gonna be a kid here, we're good.
But the possibility.
Man, there's the possibilities of a lot of things. My laptop can catch fire right now and burn me to death. I mean, anything can happen in life. I don't know, but that's not my intention.
Knowing you, that cheap ass laptop might blow up.
Top of the line. This is the 2026 laptop. Q, what you thinking?
I think that in that sense, there could be a contradiction there for women if it's like I can have all the say when it comes to the kid, but yet I kind of want the man to be there. I want him to be present. So, so now you're not giving him the option to say whether or not he wants to be present. And that's just I think a bit of a contradiction there. Like if you're taking on that role, you're basically saying now you have to be here for this child and you have to be here for this child in this way. And we see that a lot. And we see the main thing that supports that is the court system. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it's just a weird thing. Like, I don't think women should be able to have that level of control, because that's kind of what it is at that point. If you are irresponsible with your body, then you take that risk of a man getting you pregnant and not being there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I like that. Raise that child.
Yeah, that was good, man. I'm gonna definitely snippet that. Send it to all feminist groups so they can hear. So, any thoughts on that from the ladies specifically in terms of like your body? You want to have the control, your obligation. Like, what's your thoughts? I agree.
And I agree.
Damn, hold
on. What I said. However,
what you mean? Different.
No, okay. So in theory, and for the context of your conversation, I said what I said. However, for me personally, and the responsibility that I take for myself in situations that I've seen, it's like, you know what? When I make the decision to choose to continue on with this pregnancy and go on and raising this child, maybe knowing that he's not going to be an active participant, that's the choice that I made to continue on with it. However, what I'm saying is that for the men, that's for them. If they were raised correctly or how they were supposed to be raised, they're going to step up to the plate, despite the circumstance that got them there. But for me, if you told me, nah, I'm not about to be around, then I'm just not going to fool with you. I may not continue forth. That's just me personally. But for the context of the conversation, I said what I said here.
Thank you. Anisha, what'd you think on Q's last point?
I just learned that, it's up to me to bring the condoms.
Ham said they had 32 other contraceptives. Why you couldn't just pick one of the other ones? Why you keep trying to put it on the male? You keep trying to force the male contraceptive as the only means of protection.
It's up to me to bring the condoms. That's all.
Or pick one of the other 31 methods. Either or.
Yeah. I mean, that's important. Like, whose responsibility is it? And I feel like the woman has you have to carry it. Gestation is 10 months, 40 weeks. Like, I think everybody should be responsible for themselves, but I feel like the onus, continues to be on the men. And then we say things like women are alpha, especially in our community, because they had to be. I feel like the flip-flopping it may be on the female side.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we have to adjust with the times. I think with a new, more empowered woman in today's time, we have to be able to teach our young men, like, hey, look, you're gonna be in the hole hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially for a decision with someone you might not ever want to see in that same space ever again. I think it's in adjusting with the times, we have to come up with some kind of conversation or idea that, if you choose not to want to be involved, then that has to be a measure that's accounted for. And that's not, making you a beta because you don't want to step up to the plate and take care of a child that you didn't plan for, didn't ask for, didn't want. I think we had to shift the conversation in that regard. But no, the system isn't geared towards men in that, and women who proclaim to be alpha but defer to the court system, is contradictory in itself.
In terms of like support and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just difficult to say I'm alpha, but I'm taking him to court
Right.
to take care of a kid.
You would just step up. If you're alpha, you would just step up and work one extra job or do whatever you got to do as an alpha.
And
the kid is taken care of.
Right, because we have everybody knows scenarios where men have custody of their kids and don't request child support from the kid's mom. They just handle business as they should, like they're supposed to. But there's not enough light shown on that in regards to the comparison where a woman who claims to be alpha, to be all empowering, I am woman, hear me roar, and every month she getting that check.
Yeah. That actually is a decent segue. So all the responses and the feedback.